complete rule and power. Now, who are these kingdoms? Who are these kingdoms that it's talking about, or these empires that it talks about? Because Scripture does not actually identify who these are. It doesn't say these five are, but most think that these empires are five that have fallen and they no longer exist. And this would be Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Medo-Persian, and Greece. But one still remains, and this is Rome. One has not yet come, referring to the Roman Empire, or many of the nations that were in the old empire. Now, the Antichrist is going to embrace all these traits of these empires and rule over them, all of them. This is a little confusing, isn't it? Is this making any sense? Basically, what we're seeing is, what it's explaining is, you remember last week we talked about religious Babylon being the false religion. Now it's telling us where the power comes from that is pushing this false religion. Because this religion is going to be kind of a worldwide religion. For it to be a worldwide religion, it's going to have power behind it. Right? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of break it down in just regular old thinking terms. So what we're seeing here is they're starting to explain why this is so powerful. It is so powerful is because the Antichrist, or Satan, is behind it. Satan is the one that is coming, that was and is not for a while, and then yet comes out of the bottomless pit. Now he's either going to, you know what Jesus was the incarnation of Jesus Christ. Of God, right? He was God in bodily form. Okay? That's what incarnation means. Here we hear about a satanic incarnation, where Satan's, the actually evil itself, will be embodied in someone, and kind of like God's power, God's nature, and all of that was embodied in Jesus Christ, His Son. Well, this power is going to come from Satan, from the bottomless pit. It's going to come from hell, is what it's saying. It's going to come from hell. Well, how is he going to be able to run a whole religion? Now, let's think about this a minute. Think about our little church trying to run the whole world religion. Well, that's just almost impossible, isn't it? One, we don't have the people, manpower, we don't have the money, we don't have any of that stuff, do we? And besides, if we try to if I say, no, you got to believe the way I want you to believe, you got to come and you got to bow down, you got to give your first loyalty to the state. Remember, that's what they're going to require, right? This religion. So how am I going to enforce that? Because I've got 10 kingdoms behind me. I've got 10 empires. I've got 10 governments behind me that it's kind of like my daddy whoop your daddy. I'm bigger than you are. I'm more powerful than you are, and you do like I say, or I'm just going to come over there and kick your booty. And we're just trying to just make it where you can understand. That's basically what it's saying. You're going to do it or else. And I've got the power to back it. I'll tell you a silly little story. I used to own a business. I owned a recreation center. Some people call it a pool hall. I had about 25 video games. I had 7 pool tables and air hockey, and I built skateboards and all this other kind of stuff. And I played video games and pool for a living for 3.5 years. I had that thing. I loved it. But anyway, one night this guy came in. He'd been drinking. We didn't allow any gambling or drinking in it. It was actually a family establishment. And this guy came in. He was drinking. Well, it was late one Friday night, and I went up to him and I went back to the back where he was playing, and he'd gotten loud. He was cussing and throwing sticks and all kinds of stuff, and there was kids still in there. And so I went by back there, and he came in quite a bit, and I'd already warned him a couple of times about coming in drinking. And I said, hey, buddy, I said, man, you need to quit cussing. I've already asked you 2 or 3 times. If you can't quit, you're just going to have to leave. Now, this guy, I'm not much bigger than I was then. I'm 5'5", weigh about 140 pounds at the time. and he's about the size of Johnny back here, or Harley, and he's only about 28 years old. And he threw that stick on the table, leaned on it, and said, "Who's going to make me?" I thought, "I guess me." And he's like, "Well, come on over here." And I'm thinking, I kind of standing there, I'm trying not to look scared, because I'm thinking, this big old boy's going to beat me to death. And so I said, "No," and I said, "We're not going to do it that way. You just need to get your stuff and go on." "I ain't leaving." He's cussing, ranting, and raving, and all that stuff. And he said, "You think you're big enough to make me leave? Just come on around here." And I thought, well, I guess I might have to come on around here and just get beat up, I guess. I mean, everybody's looking at all this, And so I'm standing there and I'm thinking, well, I might as well go ahead and go over and get my punishment. Maybe I'll get lucky and live through this. And about that time, he kind of started backing up. And he said, all right, I'm leaving. And he just looked like he was scared. And I'm like, he turned around and walks out. And I'm like, yeah, you better go home. That's what I'm thinking. I'm standing there like this, and I turn around, and there's 4 young men that come up there and help me all the time, and they're all about the size of Johnny, standing back there like this. And I turned around and I went, oh. And they're all just standing there, and they look at me and just start grinning, because I didn't know they were there. 2 of them was holding pool sticks like this, patting them in their hand like, yeah, come on. Now, why did I say that? Give you that silly illustration. That's what Antichrist is saying. When these other people saying, I ain't going to do it. Then they look, he's got these other 10 nations behind him going, yeah, you're going to do it. Now, you get the picture? This is the kind of power he's going to have to be able to control this worldwide religion. Now, that's kind of just breaking it down in a good old boy kind of language, so hopefully that'll help you understand what's happening. And then he begins to explain all of these empires that have fallen and are going to rise up, and one's already here and one's to come. Okay? So now does it make a little more sense? All right. It goes on in verse 15 through 18. Well, it continues on through 11, and it says, "And the beast that was and is not, even is the 8th and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition." Now he is one of these the power that he's talking about. The 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which thou received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. He's going to give them their power, all right, and their authority. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Now what's it saying? They are going to form an alliance with the Antichrist. They're going to be one with him. That whatever he says, that's good. That's right. That's the way we're going to do it. Okay? Y'all following? And it said, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Now, it's saying this is the whole purpose. He is trying, and this is Satan, now this is the Antichrist. He is coming, and he is coming against the Lamb. Now, who was behind the crucifixion of Jesus Christ? Was it the Jewish leaders? Who was really behind all this? Satan. And I've told y'all before, I'm not Satan was having a party when they put him in that tomb until 3 days later. And he has been trying to get back at God ever since God kicked him out of heaven. Now, if y'all know the story in Genesis, you read where he fell like lightning from heaven. God kicked him out because he became prideful and thought he was God and all these other kind of things. And a third of the angels went with him. And ever since then, he's been mad. He's been mad, and he's been trying to destroy whatever God... I have a little saying that I use. Satan's always trying to destroy what God is building up. Okay? Now, he's been trying to do that ever since God created man. Now, in the garden, what did he do? He went after God's creation. Satan shows up and says, oh, that's not really what he said. That's not what God did. You won't really die. And he has been trying to blind the minds and hearts of God's people, God's creation,